Welcome back. This is part two. Um, I'm super excited about this time because it is a time to reflect on many things. Um, I have this deep in my heart desire to talk about transformation um, because it means something to me. Um, I was to the conferences, I read some books, but I guess until you um, learn how to apply it to your life, it is just a theory. And one of the marks of the beautiful time that we live in is actually um, the fact that we're not only gaining knowledge, but we're learning how to take it and apply it. So, this is part two. You are chosen. And I want to expand a little bit more uh, what I feel is the greatest opportunity that we ever lived in is right now in front of us. Um, and I want to use this analogy. Uh, I don't care what kind of headlights you have in your car, but if you are in the middle of the forest or on some road going somewhere where it's pitch black, even the slightest light is so much helpful. Uh, so, why am I using that analogy? We live at such time as now where, as long as you have light, it's gonna be penetrate any darkness. And this is our time to shine. And this is just so amazing. Uh, Now, if we don't embrace the idea of transformation, we're not going to have the ability to shine because we're just going to be like everybody else. This world is in darkness. The Satan, the uh, king of this world, he puts everybody under the same thing. If you're part of the worldly system, and I'm not saying that you're living in sin or um, anything like that, but if you are paying too much attention to your five senses and making your connection that way, you are not going to be able to shine. You're just going to be like everybody else. Uh, so the this whole um, epidemic state, not only of this state or country or even of the whole world, we are forced to shine. I want you to think about that. I want to plant the idea in your mind. What if, in His infinite wisdom, Father, Creator, Designer, the one that thought of you far before He even created this earth, He had the idea about you, specifically you. What if you were specifically designed to live right at this time? Not 10 years ago, not 10 years in the future, but for this time, for such a time as this. Um, the story comes to mind, Esther. She was a beautiful lady and she had everything she needed. She had a chance to stand out and be safe. Or, on the other hand, she had a chance to stand up, face uncertain, maybe even possibly death, but to be known for something. And Mordecai presented that choice to her very clearly for such a time as this. And she made a choice. I'm still on the subject of transformation. What if What if it's not a coincidence that you are alive during this time? What if it's your life does not depend on coronavirus, on the decisions that officials making, on the decisions that your employer's making, or anything like that? What if your life is fully depends on God Almighty? Think about that. Think about the opportunity that might present. You have been chosen. You have been chosen for such a time as this. Uh, and God already put you here. He gave you enough talents, abilities, supernatural gifts, knowledge, wisdom. He already prepared you for this time. What if instead of look out and freaking out and see how everybody else is running for their life, what if we instead just slow down and look inside and consider this simple thought? You are special in the way you are designed, and you have been designed for this time. That means that something, if it's not even shown yet, something needs to give inside of you. In some way, maybe you need to change some things about your character. Maybe you need to develop some things. But if you've been designed for such a time as this, that in itself makes you very special. Uh, it's just so exciting to talk about this, because the more I talk about it, the more exciting I am. And this is not just the words for me. This is how I live. This is how I think. This is how I feel. To me, this is my whole being. And that is just so amazing. Um, in And I thank God. From the bottom of my heart, yes, I understand what's going on. Yes, I understand the repercussions, and I actually have a couple degrees, and both of them in business. I understand what that can do to the economy and all of that. But at the same time, what gives me joy through this time is the realization that I have been chosen personally for such a time as this. I don't know if you know this, guys. Some of you kind of new to the church, but when we had the last recession, I lost my job. And, well, it may be not great news, but the great news is because I had all of that time, I was able to start the church that you are part of. So I used the chance when everybody did not know what to do. I used that chance to do something amazing for God. Uh, and I always like to say this: if you've done it sometime in the past, you can do it again. If somebody's done it, that means you're able to repeat what they done and have exactly the same experience. So, for such a time as this is part two. For such a time as this, you're so special. And for such a time as this, God lets you live right now. I want you to feel very special, because you are. You are the amazing man or woman of God. And when everybody's going to be walking in the darkness, you're going to be shining. When everybody's going to start giving up, you're the one that's going to persevere. When you're going to love when everybody's going to hate, you're going to trust when everybody's going to be live by fear. For such a time as this, hear this. I feel His presence. Holy Spirit is here. you've been born for such a time as this, and that was part two of the transformational series.